In this video, I just want to quickly walk through my thinking process and choices in the device that I picked to install the firewall software on. So if you are looking at doing something like this in your house for your home lab at an affordable price, I think you might find this helpful. You are listening to The Ben Solomon Show, where I share my current journey of building an online business, my tech projects including home lab, home automation, and other little projects, and my journey on the return back to healthy, high-performance living. I also review books, courses, and tools that I use and enjoy on a daily basis and think that could benefit you. On to today's episode. Hey, it's Ben Solomon, and so without much further ado, let's do this. So I've got this here. So I was looking at a few different options. The main things that I needed was at least 2 NICs, and gigabit is all I needed because my switching infrastructure is all gigabit, and I don't see myself getting 2.5 gig infrastructure in the next 5 or so years. That's my basic assumption. Gone, okay, fine. All I need is a gigabit pair of NICs. This particular one has 2.5 if you're looking for that, and it's high powered for what I was trying to accomplish. Then I looked at this one here, which is the cheaper version with dual NICs again. This one's gigabit. Pretty good price, actually, looking at it all. Quite a good device. I mean, it came quite recommended in various forums for pfSense, OpenSense, and even Sophos. Then B-Link. I've actually bought a B-Link before. I think it was about July 2023 that I bought one with the idea that I would use it for a hypervisor, which I still haven't done. It's sitting in my cupboard to be utilized. I'll eventually do that, considering Proxmox at this stage, because apparently there's a lot more that you can do with containers and things like that I'm wanting to learn and try to understand. I come from a background where I had Microsoft Hyper-V as my hypervisor in most of the environments that I built, and in some of the environments that I've managed ESXi, I've managed Nutanix, and I've managed a couple of other smaller niche ones that was just troubleshooting Citrix-based things. So in this case, anyways, Proxmox is what I'm hoping to utilize just because of what seems to be a lot more flexible. That's probably the word that I would use, because the ability to have containers and manage containers and all of those aspects, I'm wanting to understand and learn containerization versus virtual machines and all of that. So anyways, B-Link, I've had good experience in terms of the device quality, seems to be good, and the price was fantastic. Then I found this, the Zima board. Never heard of it before, and watched a few videos on YouTube, and I was like super impressed by what that is. It's fantastic. Price is amazing. For 89 USD would be about 140-ish Australian dollars, and then shipping, obviously. It's absolutely fantastic what this can do. And maybe eventually there are a few people I've seen on YouTube who have built Proxmox clusters with Zima boards. So maybe that's a future project, something that I might look at once I've got my first Proxmox server up and running and I've gotten an understanding of how it all works compared to my knowledge in ESXi and Hyper-V and all of the other hypervisors that I've used in the past. Then I looked at this one here. Tricky pretty well came recommended in forums for OpenSense, pfSense, and Sophos. So I looked into it. They had really good pricing. And then there was this other one I found from Tricky that I'll link to all of these below the video and on the website, so that depending on what your preferences, you could look at these. Or if you want something different, obviously do your research, see what do you actually need, and then buy based on that. In my case, I went with this one, the Tricky Mini PC Key N100. It's got 4 cores. Considering I was considering if I'd go OpenSense or pfSense or Sophos. Regardless, I thought 4 cores would be more than enough for what I have in mind for this. 16 gigs if I had gone with OpenSense or pfSense, I believe this would have been fully utilized. But with Sophos that I've picked, it'll be 6 gigs that gets utilized. and 10 gigs wasted. It's unavoidable at this stage, but it means that once it comes out of being used as a firewall, I could use it as another node in the cluster of Proxmox. Maybe. Let's see. It's got 2 gigabit LAN. Not to worry too much about HDMI and things like that, but I might look at a micro KVM to see if I can utilize that. That's one of the other things to look at for me on my plate. Wi-Fi 5, BT, Bluetooth 5.0, none of that matters for what I've got in plan for this. But wake on LAN and auto power on is very important, because you want auto power on for it to turn on if there's a power outage, and then power gets restored. Wake on LAN is good, but it's not necessary for what we are trying to do with this as a hardware firewall, as a firewall, basically. So yeah, that's basically it. For 229, it's an absolute steal. It's got everything that you need, 500 gig SSD, all of that for 229 in a compact package. And I actually did a unboxing kind of video, but unfortunately I didn't have my microphone turned on. So here we are. Here's the device, and it's also got one of these figure 8 IEC plugs, which means no need to worry about adapters and things like that. Easy to work with. Two USBs, 2 NICs, and then 2 USBs in the front, 1 USB 3 and 1 USB 2. And very compact, very light and great. And comes with cables, obviously. And be installing Sophos soon and putting it in my environment, and I'll give an update. And that's basically it. Hopefully that's helped you out with figuring out what hardware you want to purchase to use if you're testing out a first firewall in your home lab environment. This might be worthwhile looking at. And obviously there's that Zima board that I find quite impressive. There's a lot of YouTubers who've done videos on them, worthwhile looking at as well. Thank you very much for your time and attention. Have a great day and see you soon. Bye. Thanks for listening to this episode of The Ben Solomon Show. If you like this episode, please hit the like button and subscribe on your favorite platform, and share the episode with anyone who you think might benefit from this episode. If you have any questions or feedback, please let me know in the comment section or at my website www.bensolomon.co. That is www.bensolomon.co. Thank you and have a fantastic day.